Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's your boy Jay Brown, and welcome to the inaugural episode of the Fray Forum. This is a podcast I've been trying to start for last 2-3 years. Yeah, I was trying to have it to where my first episode I would have a guest on, but no, this particular episode we are talking about one thing. Now, I do want to point one thing out. This is a wrestling podcast, not a wrestling belts podcast. So on this particular segment or podcast, if you're familiar with my channel, I don't emphasize wrestling belts on what I like to talk about. However, the subject of this episode happens to be a wrestling belt. It is the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt that was unveiled last week on Raw. Now, a lot of people, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of columnists, a lot of Redditors, all of them, they jumped right on hours after, minutes after, the next day, and gave their opinion on it. I decided to wait a week because opinions can change. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. How I felt about the belt when I first saw it last week, and if I jumped on to this podcast and say what I thought, I was going to be like, it's not bad, but it's safe to say that will not be a part of my collection. Or, I mean, there was nothing about the belt that really jumped out at me. But here's the thing. That was the same feeling I had with the new U.S. title, which, okay, you can't see in the screen, but it is right there on one of my shelves. After a second glance or getting a detailed look, which if you saw it on Raw, you did not get a detailed look. I don't care what anybody says. But after a second look of it, you actually see what the design is made of. Like, you see that it has the two lions on the side. You wouldn't be able to tell that looking at it on Raw, and then the little lion's head at the bottom. You wouldn't be able to tell that. And one complaint that I had, and I heard from a lot of people, was, why don't they put the eagle back on the belt? Sure enough, there's an eagle on the belt at the very top. It's small, but it's there. So yes, there's a reason I don't jump up and give my opinion directly. I have to take my time and look at the belt. And here's the thing, the way it's laid out, that belt is honestly pretty good. I mean, the way the design is with the lions and the eagle, and a lot of people have issues with the stones being clear. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get on that in a minute. And then not only that, another thing you wouldn't be able to tell, even if you look at pictures now, unless you really pay attention, the curves, or the carvings, I should say, on the actual leather work is immaculate. Like, I know when WWE Shop sells this, it's going to be faux leather. We all know that. But the way the artwork is on the leather itself is phenomenal. Like, I really like it. Like, it was a very unique take on something, a nuance of a belt that a lot of people don't pay attention to, the leather work and the leather crafting of the belt itself. And this one is probably the best I've seen in years. Now, my initial concern about this new belt was, okay, they're unifying the two belts that Roman has, and then this new WWE World Heavyweight Championship is just going to be a new belt. So in my mind, I was like, so they're completely erasing the lineage of the WWE Championship, and I was not okay with that. But here's the thing. As I took time to think about it, which is another reason I'm glad I waited a week, they did the exact same thing to the Intercontinental Championship when they unified it and then they brought it back. They did not cut the lineage off at all. It continued. So I see no reason as to why this shouldn't continue. This be the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and what Roman has be the undisputed Universal Championship. I mean, and that will continue the Universal lineage, and this will continue the WWE Championship lineage. That's the way I see it. Now, should have, I mean, another thing too, I see a lot of people commenting that this belt is a participation trophy because they couldn't take the belt off Roman. Now, I don't think that's initially fair, though I kind of agree about them not taking the belt off Roman, especially when I made a video with, I said 5 ways to take the belt off of Roman. If you look at my Fray Forum series, I laid out 5 legit ways to take the belt off of Roman without making him look weak. One of them was for him to relinquish the belt when there's a brand split. But no, they unified the belts and created another one, which I guess in a sense is the same. Now, should they even have given Roman the WWE Championship in the first place? No, I still don't think they should have. For 2 reasons. One, why would you take a championship away from Raw if Roman's not going to be there every day? And 2, Roman did not need it. Every accomplishment he's had right now and everything they're focusing his legacy on centers around the Universal Championship. The 1,000 days centers around the Universal Championship. The 3 years of champion centers around the Universal Championship, not necessarily the WWE Championship. So them giving him that, I felt like that took away from other talents. He didn't need that, so to speak. I mean, that's and a lot of people not going to agree with me, which one of the things about this podcast is a lot of people are not going to agree with me because I want to hear your thoughts because you're going to hear mine. I had the same thoughts when Kenny Omega held 3 different world championships from 3 different companies. Yeah, I guess they do that to bring eyes to the product. And honestly, I kind of understand that a little better than having Roman have both world titles. It didn't make sense to me at all. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, my concern was about lineage. But that's how it is. Now, my complaints about this belt was not the same as everybody else's. The number one complaint about this belt was the big logo in the middle. And then I see a lot of people post other belts with the logo in the middle, like TNA or Classic TNA, Impact, AEW, and so forth. And I kind of agree with them. This is not anything new. I think the reason people have a problem with the WWE being in the middle is because we've seen the new logo belt, the network logo belt, for so long that we didn't want that logo in the middle, or they didn't want to see that logo in the middle because it's like, oh, WWE is just trying to promote their thing. But here's the thing, it's not different from what a lot of companies are doing. Yeah, they could have went with a different design, but, well, put it this way, you're not going to please everybody. I mean, you're just not going to. And yeah, they could put the logo somewhere else, but I mean, that's just what they want to do. It doesn't take away from the belt at all, honestly. I mean, I would have made a couple of changes myself, but the logo doesn't bother me. Now, my thoughts on the logo, well, I'll tell you about that later. Another thing that people are complaining about, something that they probably didn't realize was on the belt when they first saw it, were the stones, the clear stones. Everybody like, no, it shouldn't be clear, it should be red. Now here's one thing, and I'm going to have varying opinions on this. They want red stones because in their mind they're seeing the big gold. I want to point something out right now. This belt is not the big gold. This belt looks nothing like the big gold. This belt can't compare to the big gold. When you look at the big gold, and the reason why the big gold is one of my favorite championships and one of the most unique championships is because it wasn't just a belt built by a maker and promoted as a company's belt. It wasn't just that; it was used with certain carvings and silversmithing techniques, and it made it unique, and it made that belt look as regal as I don't know what else. But for that reason, that's why massive amounts of big golds weren't created. They were casted, but they weren't made like that. So for that reason, no, I wouldn't say compared to the big gold. I understand why they say that, because if you look at how Fandu's big gold is, I mean the original Fandu big gold is, I see why they would conclude to that comparison. But no, and I'm hearing things like this, like the network logo mixed with the big gold. No, it's not. This belt is nothing like the big gold, and I refuse to say that. But the reason why people wanted red stones is because in their mind they think that this is partly a design of the big gold. The designs aren't even the same as the big gold. Nowhere near. So that estimation is false, in my opinion. But hey, this is the forum. This is where we discuss things. I'm sure if I had a guest on, we'll probably be bickering back and forth right about now. But I'm by myself today. Alright, so another thing. How do I rate this belt? I personally would give this belt an 8.5 out of 10. Now, what I would do differently. Okay, let's take the okay, that black paint on the globe and around the logo. Let's take that off. Let's make that gold. Keep the logo silver. It'll be silver on top of gold. No black paint at all, even on the side plates. Excuse me. Even on the side plates, take the black paint off completely. And then make that so. And you know what? With the lions being and the eagle being gold, I say make them silver as well. That will pronounce the animals more on the belt. And not only that, that will complement the clear stones that are on the belt itself. That's just my opinion. But even without that, I still give this belt an 8.5 out of 10. So that's my thoughts on the big gold. So, like I said, since I don't have a guest on this one, just share your thoughts in the comments on your thoughts about this belt. If you like it or don't like it, because I know a lot of people don't like it. I'm probably one of the few that actually don't mind it. And I also want to hear what you would do different to make it to your liking. Even if you like it, what would you do different to this belt? And give me some details. Don't just say take the logo off. Come on, let me know what in your mind, in your opinion, would make this belt the best looking belt ever. You made it all the way to the end of the video, but did you subscribe though? If not, considering subscribing so that you're notified of every video we make and becoming a member of the Fray family. One of us, one of us, one of us. What? Thank you for joining the Fray. Good night.